Yeah, I graduated high school in 2007. I was going to be an aircraft mechanic. I went to Spartan College of Aeronautics and Technology in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Quite the drive for a 17-year-old. I did that for the first year before racking up a lot in student debt. Ended up joining the Navy. That worked out because I had just taken basic electronics, basic mechanics, um, and basic airframes. So when I joined, I became an aviation electrician's mate, and I already had most of the baseline figured out from the civilian side. I moved to Japan to do my actual rate and work on H-60 Seahawk helicopters. Where did routine troubleshooting and maintenance on electric components of helicopters. Well, I got out in 2011, and I went to Webster University. They have a campus in Irvine. I did my bachelor's in management and leadership, and I proceeded on to a global master's in international relations. Unfortunately, the degree alone isn't enough these days. You need the work experience as well. So it's unfortunate that you can have over a decade of experience in something, or you can have a degree in it, but you have to have a little bit of both for it to be or seen as more substantial. It was actually at a job fair that I met an individual for the California construction colleges, and I got a heavy equipment operator certificate. Nothing, unfortunately, came from that, aside from ended up getting a contact from Jason about construction safety. And I went for that because it'd been a couple months since I got my heavy equipment certification, and I wasn't hearing anything from that. I was still working at from temp agencies. It was all really accessible and I guess empowering is the right word. You learn the basics of safety on a huge net of construction. But general principles that apply across the board, a lot of which overlap to previous military, what is the word? I mean, just basic ideas like PPE and safety and when you're on the flight deck, you always hear keep your head on a swivel. Same idea when you're on a job site. You want to make sure that you have a good head on your shoulders and you keep it there. The work of Jason and Career Expansion is they work really hard to get you interviews, get you calls. Like I've been on, I guess, 6 different interviews over the last 10 months, even though I started with Shoreline just 9 months ago. I started with them as just normal general labor. It was a couple months in till I was able to run a small crew myself, and I'm project manager now as of the last almost 2 months. I found Career Expansion from day one to be a very supportive environment. They were willing to take the time to talk to me, find out where I'm at, where I'd like to be headed, and discuss the the options that are out there. Career Expansion is a great stepping stone to get you into the trades, which aside from initial appearances, the trades are arguably one of the largest growing directions you can take for employment nowadays. It's got a sustainable, future for us. Definitely the foreseeable future, because you always need new developments, or at least refurbishment, I suppose, of existing. They estimate over the next 20 years, 20, 30 years, we're going to have to redo all the Army Corps engineers' work of the 50s and 60s, because that's throughout the whole country. There's so many old lead pipes, old power lines, things that have just been up there for ages back with the Hoover administration, that they have a shelf life. And you need skilled tradesmen to go in there and rebuild all these. And it's nice to be able to build something of permanence, to leave something that, even if all you did was put a piece of a wall in or certain rivets, you can go by that every day and say, this is something I built. And there's a good feeling to that. It's building an own testament to yourself, even if it's not a statue in your image. You're building a monument, so to speak.